Yesterday, we asked one question and got one answer. Today, we are having a conversation with the LLM using our documents. This is ChatGPT, but train on our data. By end of today's challenge, we'll have a knowledge on how conversation RAG really works, how to keep the history of the chat, how AI answers still stay grounded by using our documents, how the real world RAG chatbots are built. Today is day 22 of 30 days of AI coding challenge. This challenge is streamlined and built in a way that you learn step by step and build the AI app by doing. I suggest completing all the previous challenges before proceeding with today's challenge because this really helps you to establish the foundation knowledge and basic which is required in today's challenge. Let's start the demo. This is day 22 RAG based chatbot. So this is the chatbot that is based on RAG, the pipelines that we built in previous days. Now, let's talk to this chatbot and see how it looks like. But before that, you see on the left hand side, we have a sidebar, right? So again, the settings are there to select the Cortex service, search service that you want, that we created in previous days challenges. And we can also select the number, that how many chunks for the context that you want to provide to the LLM. Okay, so this is where you can select between 1 to 5. And we can also clear the chat history from here. Let's start with the demo. So I can ask, hey, did gloves are warm enough in winters? I asked this simple question to the LLM. Now see how it's applied. You see, first of all, it's showing the search that I'm searching and thinking. Let's see how it responds. Okay, we have the response here. So you can understand, see, it's a LLM. It's a LLM chatbot, but it's only giving the answer from the context that we have provided because we have the prompt in the back end, that is instructions are given, right? So let's see what's the response. So response is based on the customer reviews, they are mixed experiences regarding the warmth of these thermal gloves. You can see in the November review, it was poor in the cloud weather. So it's a mixed response. Okay. So overall, it's telling it's adequate for the moderate winters, but not suitable for the very bad winter conditions. Okay. So this is what the experience, based on the experience, the response is provided. That's very good. Nice. We can also ask for, what about skis? There is skis as well in the customer review. Let's see how it responds. Okay, see, so the key points about alpine skis is they're telling about the strength, limitations, and some of the reviews, right? So expert level skiers, aggressive skiing style. So both review emphasizes these are performance oriented skis that cater to experienced technical skiers rather than casual user or beginner. So this is also a very good response they are giving. So now in the previous day, we were just asking one question. Now it's now a chatbot where we're asking some questions and all the context is there based on the documents of the customer review, those 100 customer review, if you remember, that we provided to the RAG pipelines, and that is the base for the context to the LLM here as well. So now we have built the RAG based chatbot. I hope it looks good to you. Now let's go deep dive into the code. Okay, day 22, chat with your document. So you have provided documents. Now we are chatting with it. We will not see the code. We'll just see the additional steps that from the previous day that we did. Okay, so conversation, initialize the conversation state. So this is a connection. Okay, this is the heading. Okay, the title. This is the title. This is the heading. You can see this is provided over here. Now this is the connection, and we are also checking the doc underscore messages are there in the session or not. If not there, then it will initialize that. Okay. It is the variable where we will store the entire conversation history. Okay. Now, smart service selection on the sidebar, as I already explained in the previous day as well. So this option is there. We can select it. We can either enter the manually, whatever we want. We have created. Okay. By default, if you have created the as followed in the previous day, so it will be visible over here. Okay. In the sidebar setting, we have this option. And if manually needs to be entered, it will show that option over here as well. Okay. Now, next thing is this is also next thing is a slider. So in this setting, we have sliders. So this is the slider 1 to 5, and by default is a 3. Number of relevant just showing the help and divider, and that's it. Clear option is there where it will clear the doc underscore messages variable from the session state and will rerun that after it. Okay. So this button is for that. Let's suppose if I click on clear chat here, it's cleared all the history. Okay. This is how it's working. Now moving to the search function. So search function is we have created because we want to search for the document. So this will basically call the complete write pipeline and grab the chunks data, the context from those documents. Okay. So based upon the root, which is the Python SDK we are using to initiate the session, and calling that, and based upon it will just checking if the database schema and the service name is correct or not based upon the length, and then providing initializing the service, and then searching. Okay, searching the providing the query to the Cortex search service. Okay, this is already I have explained in the previous days. Now same thing, chunk text, chunk file in the column that you need to search, and limit is already provided from the number of chunk that we need. See here. Okay, cool. Now results. So in the result, we'll have the result from the Cortex search query, the search. Okay. The result, we'll check each of the result inside the result, and then for we will basically get the chunk and the file name and store it into a text. And so it's a data dictionary dictionary that we are saving into, which is chunk underscore data that we initialize over here. Now we are returning the chunk data. So it's having two key value pair, text and the source means the file name. Okay. Once this function is ready, we'll use this in the next step here, which is chat input and processing. Now we're just checking whether the service is good to start or not, right? So just check that and display the chat history. If the messages are there in this variable, we'll display that, and for we'll check what is the role in that and what's the content. Okay, initially we'll start with the we're starting with this ask about your document, right? Ask about your document. See the chat input, ask about your documents. Okay, we are starting this chat input, and in that we are appending the user and the content. So basically whatever prompt will provide, it will append that into the variable, session state variable, and then we are showing the same in the message. So whatever we'll mention, okay, it will see by our user and the prompt that will be shown over here. So this is the code for that. Now for the assistant means whatever the response is getting from here, this is the piece of code for that complete. Okay. Now we are just starting the spinner first. You see spinner is started showing searching and thinking, and then we are calling the search document, the function that we created in the last step, and providing all the information and grabbing the chunk data from there. Okay. Now, once we have the chunk data, we are just joining it to get the into a single variable. Okay, we're just joining it based upon this new line character, so that we understand that one file is different than another. Okay, once this is done, we are creating a prompt, which is this. You are a customer review analysis assistant. Your role is to only answer the question which are from the customer review and feedback. Okay, so these are the strict guidelines for him, so that it doesn't answer any other general knowledge question. Okay, context. So context is provided from here. Okay, and the user question is the prompt. Okay, and some more instructions is there, provide the clear helpful answer. Okay, and then after that, once the prompt is ready, we are calling the Cortex complete function. Okay, using the Claude LLM, providing the prompt, replacing some characters. Okay, now SQL. This is the SQL that we are calling and then collecting the data, the response from there, and then converting into a markdown using this function. Once we have that, then we are just showing once that response is markdown means this will show the response. So here we will get the response. This is the markdown code. Okay. And then you also see we are also showing the sources. Okay. So for that, we are showing the expender, okay? Library book, this is the library book icon, sources, length of the chunks we found and reviewed, okay? And then we are just checking it overall and then grabbing the text from there, okay? See, this one, okay? And in that expender only, we are just showing it, okay? Once that is done, we are appending the assistant response in the messages, doc underscore message, then the exceptions handling is done. Cool. So this is all about the challenge for today. There are some differences that has been shown over here that it's a previous days in 21st was singleton rag. This is conversational rag for day 22. And some examples are given by the users and that's it. Okay. So this is all about the code walkthrough for today's challenge. Implementation for day 22 is also same as other previous day. We just need to copy the code from the code available in the documentation and then just simply update the streamlit underscore app.py and your app should be ready. So what we learned today, we built a conversational RAG chatbot. We answered some questions which are backed by the real documents. This is how I feel like the enterprise AI assistant really works. This is Sudeep Kumar. If you want to see more of my videos, make sure you like the video and subscribe the channel and do share with your friends. Do ask follow-up questions and comment down once you complete today's challenge. Tomorrow we will evaluate the quality of your RAG application using some of the framework from Snowflake, which is AI observability framework and TrueLens framework. So thanks for watching. Till then, take care. Bye bye.